you're now getting the notification that you've hit 1 million daily events to your BigQuery export from GA, and Google is telling you, hey, upgrade to GA360, upgrade your account, it'll unlock more limits. Let's talk through exactly the pros, the cons, why you should, why you shouldn't, how pricing works for GA360 from someone who we manage a dozen or so GA360 accounts currently, and we are just an analytics provider. We just provide measurement for your organization. So we have a unique insight because we don't sell ads, we don't sell landing pages, we don't sell CRO. We are a measurement organization. Let's hop into it. The first thing I want you to do is pop on over to Google Analytics. And you're going to go all the way down to where you say product links and click on BigQuery. So admin, product links, BigQuery. You're going to click on this. This should have your project ID and your project name and the project number and whoever created that. So you can always reach out to them if you did have any problems. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to see this data streams and events section. I want you to click on configure data streams and events, and we're going to see which streams are driving your daily volumes. Right here, we can see if we wanted to turn off specific ones, you can turn those off, turn them back on. What can oftentimes happen is people parody things where there's a staging stream, there's a non-staging stream. Not best practice, but I'm just letting you know that you could have multiple streams that are clogging up your event volumes. The second thing I want you to do is you can specify event names to exclude. What often happens in larger organizations is someone has the bright idea of we need to have website diagnostics that fires on every single page to tell us how fast the page loaded, what happened on the page, etc., etc. How do you do that? You can type in here website diagnostics or whatever your event is that you are trying to exclude. Hit confirm. You will then now have this event to be excluded of website diagnostics with a daily event volume here. And so now you have a better idea of let's maybe buy us some time keeping that BigQuery export, keeping things in the races. So now that we've gotten table stakes out of the way, let's talk through pros, cons, solutions. But first, a super quick introduction. My name is JJ Reynolds, founder at Vision Labs. We are a measurement organization. We help companies get better insights from their data, ask better questions, and build better reporting. So just wanted to give you some backstory. We manage clients doing for anywhere from 10 million to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, have websites with tens of thousands of events to literally 10 million, 20 million of events per day. So if you have any questions, those are my credentials. Go to the website, visionlabs.com, and check us out. So now let's talk through GA4. What is the benefit of GA360? That's the question people ask. The main benefit, I'm going to be honest, is that you now have unlimited volume outside of BigQuery. So the first thing that you want to know is that you can handle unlimited volume. With that unlimited volume comes an unlimited price. So we built an actual pricing calculator that will give you a general idea of what you're going to cost. You basically get the first million events for free, and then you pay a base rate, and then it adds on a certain dollar amount for every specific number of events. So let's just say, for example, you're trying to do 100 million events per year. If you hit show price estimate, it will tell you exactly what happens. So basically, the total price will be $5,500 per month. There's a $4,200 per month base price. That gets you 25 million events per month. Then it is $1,750 per million events beyond the first 25 million. If you're at 100 million events per month, you will be at $5,500 per month. As you can see, the bulk of the cost is this base price of the $4,200 per month. Once you're kind of in GA360, every marginal event is fairly cheap compared to any other platform, right? Compared to pretty much any other web analytics platform, it's one of the most economical ones out there when it comes to high volume sites. That is how that works. You can also pop this over to yearly, and we can change this and say 900 million events per year. What does that look like? There you go, $60,000 per year, and you have your options. The second benefit that people often utilize is the idea of sub-properties or roll-up properties. They're kind of both referred interchangeably. The idea is if you run a franchise or a location, or maybe you have a fleet of gyms, right? You can use each location as a sub-property that then rolls up to your major property. So you can have kind of events within locations and locations within your master. That way you can organize things more easily. The same thing goes for Google Tag Manager. People don't realize this, is that you also get Google's Tag Manager, a 360 account, which you can also have sub-accounts. These sub-accounts allow you to have, again, the easiest way to think about this is around kind of different locations, or if you have sub-properties or different types of businesses, they can all roll up to this one master overview. Another benefit people don't often realize is those sub-properties. The third major reason to use GA360 is around the idea of custom dimensions and custom metrics. So by default, you get 25 customs, right? So you can make 25 unique things inside of your UI of GA4. With GA360, it's 100. So you can have way more custom dimensions than anybody else. So for example, people often do this with e-commerce where you have a lot of different specific things, like maybe shoe size, or maybe you have a very unique product that you need to know booking time. So for example, a lot of big hotels might have the booking date, the receiving date, the arrival date, the removal date. You get the idea. All these different custom dimensions you can use inside of GA360. I don't think I've known anybody who's hit the limit at all. So just keep that in mind. It's a limit that most people don't utilize. You can oftentimes get into this kind of weird situation where maybe you have too many with like experimentation. You have different departments that are all experimenting together. The idea is that you have kind of an unlimited, loosely quote, 100 different dimensions you can play with to utilize the full breakdowns you can get inside of GA360. Those are the three major reasons people move to 360: the event volume limits, the idea around sub properties, and then thirdly is the idea around having more customizations beyond whatever limit. So basically think every limit is more than that. Now, let's be honest. Here's my honest take about what most organizations actually end up doing. We have worked, again, with about a dozen 360 accounts currently, and the major thing that we run into is that the entire organization doesn't know how to use the UI of Google Analytics. There's a reason to say that's pro or con or whatever else. You can do a lot within the UI. You can build out funnels. You can do funnel explorations. You can have path explorations. You can do all these things, but it is overwhelming to the majority of people, and the majority of teams are asking the wrong questions. That's where people come work with us, where we help you ask better questions and build out the reporting for you. What the majority of teams I see that we work with is we use that BigQuery export, that raw data that you own inside of your BigQuery account, which actually a lot of organizations do like. And then you build out reporting on top of that. So you are looking at something like Looker Studio to build those reports as opposed to in the UI. This is a more proactive approach. What you are doing is you're saying, hey team, we built these reports for you. This is how to use them. Here's what this entails. And you can then say from this point forward, hey, we now have these reports. We know how to use them. We know why they exist. Everyone come to this one location, and maybe you have a form or you have some type of way to educate the entirety of the team about how to use this tool, right? Your Looker Studio reporting. We found that to have the highest success rate. We have one of our customers, one of our clients, has 180 unique domain names. Across those domain names, they have different departments that manage certain reports. We have different teams that manage other things. It creates a lot of chaos if everyone was looking at GA all the time, because everyone's trying to build different reports, have different situations. You have a lot of customizations in GA, but the goal here is that you can go into your analytics, you can see what you need to do, and you can get back to doing your job. So what we were able to do is build out reporting that was able to be hyper specialized to what each department needs and have that one report service multiple departments. It's really customizable because you have that GA4 BigQuery export. Let me show you an example just using our data. We are not a 360 account, but these same principles apply because we have the data going from GA4 into BigQuery and then into Looker Studio. So the idea here is we have all of our different lead magnets, which you should go download. So visionlabs.com/DOO for the data order of operations. And we can see every single conversion rate. So imagine if you have a team, right? You have maybe someone who's in charge of all of the events. You have an events tab that has all the events data clearly laid out in a way that is structural to the organization. We then have the ability to say, okay, let's look at sources for those. So we could say, hey, how is Google doing? I can click on Google, and then I can say, okay, Google is driving mostly Looker Studio cheat sheets. That's okay. They are generating leads. We're doing off to the races. What is LinkedIn doing? Oh, LinkedIn's usually a larger kind of more enterprise clientele. They're using our data order of operations to action their data internally, which you should do. And here we have, for example, I'm just showing you one page of a report report that is remarkably dynamic for you and your organization to then say, we are using one central location, everybody has access, and you can ask this person, this team over here, if we need anything customized. It forces everybody to have a stronger relationship to say, what question am I asking? And then what action am I going to take? Here we have our kind of high level KPIs, sessions, lead impressions, and leads generated. And you can see those versus the previous 30 days, the previous year. And that way we have a good relationship to say, where are we seasonality wise, and where are we related to last month? Now that we've got that out of the way, this is the holy grail, right? This is what most people with GA360 kind of aim for, where you can have the entire pipeline of saying GA4, our web analytics tool, going into BigQuery and then into your Looker Studio. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Go and check out the calculator for GA360, our data order of operations, and everything else is linked down below.